Okay, so we're at the last lesson of the chapter, 7th graders.
Make the
Lesson
video
110.
now too cringy.
And it's a review of the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is the grid that we learned about last year. And these two bold lines refer to the numbers on the y-axis going up and down, and the x-axis going across. Okay? This is called the coordinate grid. There are 4 quadrants in it. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Okay? Now,
Cringe.
settle down, okay? The numbers in the first quadrant are always both positive, okay? So, if we were to graph point B, we can find the numbers by counting over on the x-axis, and watch how you find the numbers. You start at 0, 0. This point is called the origin. It's right in the middle. And you first count to the right or to the left. That's the number, the x number in the ordered pair. So point B is over 4. We count over the spaces 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us the first coordinate, or the x coordinate. Then, if you count from there up to the point, you get the y coordinate. So the coordinates for point B are 4, 1. 4, 1. Over 4, 4 to the right, and up 1. And that's in quadrant 1. Notice that the quadrants are always written as Roman numerals. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you're asked to write down what the quadrant is, you should write it like that. Okay? Which quadrant is the origin in? It's not in any, is it? It's on both lines. So if you have a point that's on one of the lines, then it's not in any quadrant. It's on an axis. So if the point was down here at -5, that point is not in any of the quadrants. It's on the y-axis. Or if we had another point that was over to the left, that's not in any quadrant. It has to be off the lines in order to be in one of the quadrants. Okay? So, take a look at your worksheet. The first section, it says to write the coordinates for each point. Whenever you're writing coordinates, you always have to put the coordinates in this order, the x-coordinate and then the y-coordinate. You always have to put a comma in between, and you have to put parentheses around it. It has to have those things. Parentheses, x-coordinate, comma, y-coordinate, close parentheses. Whenever you write down coordinates. Okay? Nate?
Why does it have to have parentheses when it's only 2, 5?
Because it shows that those are not just numbers in an expression, like numbers that you're adding or subtracting. It helps you identify this as coordinates for the coordinate plane. So whenever you see 2 numbers with a comma in between and parentheses around them, you know that those numbers are referring to a point on a graph. Okay? Then the second section is, in what quadrant do these points go in? Remember to put Roman numerals as your answers to those questions. Then on the back side, graph each point. When you're graphing a point, you have to label it with the letter. So if we were to graph point B and you're given the coordinates, you mark point B on the graph with the dot, and you put the letter right next to it, just like it shows in your examples. Then in the next section, 7 through 10, you're going to write the coordinates for each point again. And then identify the point with a letter. And then tell what quadrant would the numbers be in. So that's referring to this. If the point was positive, comma, positive, with parentheses around it. If both points are positive, we know that it's going to be in quadrant 1. That's the only place it can end up. Positive, positive, it has to go in quadrant 1. Positive, negative would go in quadrant 4. Negative, negative is in quadrant 3. And negative, positive is in quadrant 2. Okay? And then anytime there's a 0 in the coordinates, it's always on the line. It's always not in any quadrant. Then it's just on the line. All right? Carson?
Do we have to write them in Roman numerals?
Yes. Yep. You have to write the quadrants in Roman numerals. Any other questions on this review? Pay close attention to the top section, the practice section, because that one you might see again on a test or a quiz. Okay?